Hey, we're standing here next to an Emerson Big 420, and even though this tractor looks huge, it's actually small compared to its big brother, the Big 430, which you can hear running in the background. But these were a pretty innovative tractor design because if you stop and think about 1913 or 1914, there were tons of different variations of design and things like that. This is actually an inline four-cylinder engine and a conventional tractor design, which you would see later, you know, in the 20s and the 30s and the 40s and all the way up to today. This is what a tractor was really kind of supposed to start looking like. And this was designed by a designer named Hartsoe. His last name was Hartsoe. And, you know, he designed something like this, and then even later, he went on to design tractors like the Big Bull, which was just a terrible design. So they didn't even know that they had it right initially, but they did. This is one of the original four-cylinder conventional designs. You can see it's an inline four-cylinder, which tractor design, you know, later became kind of a standard. But this, you know, we're talking about 1914, 1915 on this, so this was really, really revolutionary. And there were still tractors being produced that had cross motors and two-cylinder opposed and, you know, all the crazy designs, but uses a Bennett carburetor and a big KW high bar mag. These are actually inspection plates that you could pull off, and you could look in and see the rods and the crankshaft. This had a unique design on the rods, where as opposed to a standard rod cap, it had a wedge that went on either side, and you actually turned a nut to tighten the wedge to tighten the rod bearings, and it actually says in the manual that you were supposed to check that like with every 12 hours of operation. So you know, they were almost getting it right, but it was right at the beginning. This particular tractor was bought out of Montana by a collector in South Africa. It was shipped from Montana to South Africa, competed in several plowing matches there. It was then shipped to England and Ireland to compete in plowing matches, and now he's shipped it back to the United States because he said he wanted the tractor to come home again. But that's all taken place in about 20 years, so this thing has tens of thousands of miles on it. It's probably the most high mileage Emerson Branningham on the planet. You know, this is kind of a standardized operating platform, which we're used to now, but I just have to stress to you how revolutionary this was in 1914 or 15, because this was a radical new design. There were still tractors being produced, you know, that you had to stand up on to drive. These came out, when these came out, it was an option to have a plow lift, and you can see the pedal up there that says plow lift. You would hit that, and it would have a big cam on the rear axle, and it would actually lift a 3 or 4 bottom plow up out of the ground. So that was even revolutionary. I mean, that was a modern tractor design. You know, I've got one of these in my own collection, and I was lucky enough to find the hired man on the farm where my tractor came from, and he remembered using this tractor in the field. And his most poignant memory was the neighbor across the fence had a Fordson and a 2-bottom plow, and he had this tractor and a 4-bottom plow, and he said the neighbor would get done before he did because it took him so long to turn around. This has got about a 40-foot turning radius, you know. So, but it's a big tractor, pretty exciting to drive. They actually handle well. Emerson was an Illinois company, so that's always what's drawn my interest to it, but really, really great tractor.